Hi! Recently, I've decided to make another art project for my future portfolio. Character concept art project to be exact. I did a lot of creature designs for the last 2 years, but I'd like to go even further and make my concept art look more professional. So I asked GPT for some ideas. It gave me the nature-inspired design challenge, and it immediately interested me a lot, just because I love different nature-related topics. And this art project seems to be an interesting topic for the video, so why not to tell about it here? Today I'll show you my art process for this project, tell you about the character concept itself and show you the result. Be sure to watch to the end. Hope you'll enjoy. So the plan for the project was: pick an idea for the concept. I'll make it randomly, because why not? I guess it's more interesting when you don't have a prepared topic and you try to adapt to the idea. Explore the idea. By that I mean to look for niche of this character. What does it do? Its abilities, personality, likings, etc. Make a character concept art, make a hero illustration, and finally to combine all of these in one concept art project. So when the goal is clear, let's create. Let's start with the idea. I've asked ChatGPT once again for a random natural detail and it gave me bioluminescent mushrooms. Oh my, it couldn't get any better. Now I have an idea to work with. So let the reference hunt begin. Well, that's enough. I wanted the mushrooms to be mysterious, purplish, warm colors, and I don't know why, but I imagine that the character loves all kinds of shiny things, just like magpies. That's how she turns out to be a mystical mushroom witch who sees the future and can't stand in front of golden stuff. With this simple idea in mind, I moved on to the next step, and this is an idea exploration. Like I said, I immediately thought of some kind of witch that brews mushroom potions, or a mage that uses mushroom magic, but then I thought of a mushroom soothsayer. At first, I imagined some widow with a crystal ball who pretends that sees the future and thus steals a lot of gold and money. The idea hasn't really changed actually. The only difference is that the witch is not pretending. She literally knows everything about anything, but she's still a little widow. Speaking of design, I already knew I wanted mushrooms to be a part of the design. The witch seems to be infected with the spores from the inside, so the mushrooms are now growing all over her body, and as you can guess, mainly in her brain. Once I came up with this general idea, I was ready to start sketching. And I'm glad that the idea came so quickly, really. Brainstorming may not seem like such an important step, but trust me, it is important if you don't want to sit in front of your canvas for hours not being able to decide which idea to choose. I usually have some ideas in mind about what I want a character to look like, but if not, I'm trying to generate the ideas using different types of sketches. Starting with the silhouettes, for example. And here's a little tip. If you can make the design interesting and recognizable just by its silhouette, that's a good sign, and your shapes are pretty clear. Here I used silhouette technique because I wanted to practice a little and learn it better. I usually work with lines, but a little bit of experimenting won't hurt, right? Also, I wasn't sure about the character portrait design yet, so this method helped me create some interesting shapes. I've sketched out different variations of portraits and body silhouettes. Those looked the best for me, so I continued to work on them. The palette of the character was a struggle. I wanted to make the coloring of the character more dark and natural, as if it were an ordinary animal, but I didn't know how to combine it with mushrooms. So that's why I have several options. I liked all of them, to be honest, but this worked the best for me. Developing an idea is the most difficult, but the most interesting part. This is similar to creating a building. The plan is the most important step. Without it, the whole project will collapse. But if at this step you manage to make the design look clear and interesting already, be sure the design will turn out just great. The idea for the hero composition already came to me with one witch sketch, and it was somehow accidental. I just love how it shows her dynamic and grace, so it's perfect for the hero. I imagined this illustration as if it were an illustration for some fairy tale or encyclopedia. But in reality, illustration was a huge challenge. You see, I wanted to show that whole magical and bright feeling of the forest, so all the illustration had to look bright. In addition, the light came from everywhere. The place just shines. But the background and the foreground quickly became unreadable this way. There's no contrast in black and white. I tried to make it realistically shaded at first, but I quickly realized that this magical and fantastical feel I was going for. I wanted the piece to look more like it was a dream. Then I remembered one coloring technique that I guess solved the problem in the most. This type of illustrations have an interesting, I'd call it a dream effect. I don't know how to explain it. It's like something wrong, but you can tell what exactly. And this is exactly the effect I wanted to achieve. Also, the effect reminded me of an opal texture. It has similar colors in black and white, but the accent color is much brighter because of the saturation. After some thoughts, I decided to make the main contrast not in tones, but in the color palette. It's not a contrast in saturation, but it was still inspired by this painting technique. The illustration doesn't look that real and clean now, but this is exactly what I wanted it to look. Mysterious, magical and dreamy. And I guess some lack of contrast even make this effect stronger, because of the dissonance it creates. And in the final moments, I recall stylized effect from the Spider-Verse movie, so I decided to make the illustration even more comic-like. I highly recommend you this masterpiece for learning color, really! Go and check it out if you didn't already! In addition, I'd like to tell you a little about the environment witch lives in. The mushrooms that captured the witch's conscience are part of an ancient mushroom forest. These mushrooms are a great source of magical energy and can predict the future. They cannot speak, but the spores can convey the thoughts of mushrooms. So when they sprouted from the witch's body, she could already hear them. Because of their huge lifespan, they are endowed with infinite wisdom, and the witch is now have access to all of this knowledge too. And here we have it. The project is done, so now I'd like to issue all of it in a complete design. Creating the reference sheet, I was able to implement some of the explorations of my designs and ideas directly into the illustration. I actually love how it turned out. I wanted the design look like pages of a fairy tale, and the grainy noise effect helped me achieve some kind of fantasy medieval looking. But surely the project is not perfect and I still have a lot of space for improvement. I think that I need to improve my shape designing at least, because a lot of my dragon-like characters are just noodles. But this is a topic for another video. And that's it for today. Hope you enjoy this little journey into a mushroom forest I've created. It was an interesting experience indeed, and this project helped me to build more precise work plan for this kind of artwork. It was an interesting experience to work this way, and this project helped me to build more precise work plan on this kind of artwork. You can find this concept sheet in high resolution on my ArtStation. Also, it's already on my Instagram, and you can find even more art from me there. Would you like to see more of my creature making processes in the future? I'll make another video about natural inspired concept art if this video hits 500 likes. I didn't mention a lot of tips here, but I totally have what to tell you about concept art and character design. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see a video about these tips in the future. So, that's it. Bye!